You might not have heard of this. If you haven't, I'm very sorry for you. But there is a brand new like Chinese developer. I don't think they've ever worked on a game before. I think this is the first thing they've ever done. And they released a trailer like a year ago. That was very, very interesting and very like, where the hell did this come from? Like it looks amazing. And they just released 8 minutes of gameplay running at 4K. And I want to show you guys what this looks like. So let's see, because it looks pretty tremendous. It looks pretty tremendous. Pretty freaking sweet, dude. You ready? Game science. Somebody in chat, am I wrong? I think this is the first game they've made. The first thing. And is this Unreal? Unreal Engine, I think it is. Monkey fighting game. Hold on. What is this resolution? What are we doing? It's a little better. Victim, thanks for coming out, my friend. This is me when somebody recognizes me out in public and asks for a picture. See? Big head. See, I think this is what people have rightly expected the next generation to be like. This level of fidelity, this level of scale, density. Look at all the foliage. Like, this is wild. And like, if this game comes out and is actually lean and fun and there's a lot of content here, it changes things. It changes things. You're kind of right, Kratos. Like, my impression of this when I look at it is like there's got to be a catch, because if it seems too good to be true, it might be too good to be true. More than likely, it's too good to be true. And so this looks really, really good. But is it that it's just running on like a super very, very limited build and it's not actually going to be this good looking when it launches? I don't know. Maybe it's that they can make these demos look really, really good, but the game itself isn't easy to build out after that. Because like, they can show a vertical slice that looks amazing, but creating a 10, 15, 20 hour game out of that is very different. It's just different. I also, is this, let me hold up. Let me check, because this game capture looks very blurry, and I don't know why. Because that's running at 4K. There's no reason it should look blech. Let me try this version from GameSpot. It looks a little better. It looks a little better. Still kind of blurry. I don't know if this is like captured from some event that they streamed it off of. I'm not sure. I also don't know what any of the text is because I don't read Chinese, so, or Mandarin or whatever. Running around a little, monster crawls out. The creature design is tremendous. You got to give him that. There's a lot of post-processing that does look really good. You got to give him that. I'm curious where the money is coming from, because this is the first game that this studio has made, and I don't know if we know how big the team is, but it's probably a fairly sizable team. And the money's got to come from somewhere to develop something like this. This doesn't just happen. So I don't know if they just got like a really great publishing deal, or if there's, is it Tencent? I don't know if it's officially Tencent or not. Maybe it is. I do know that Tencent has had a ton of issues with getting licensing, because in China you have to apparently get an official license for a new IP, a new game that's issued by the government. And if you don't get that, then you're just out of luck. And that's been Tencent's issue, and why they're looking to acquire Ubisoft is because they don't have licenses for new releases. So they're just kind of screwed. So maybe these guys got a license. I don't know. Tencent owns a percentage of GameSci infinite budget on this game. Okay, so they bought in. That would make sense. That would make sense if they have Tencent money behind them. You do have to be in with the government. You do. People like forget, but India, China, South Korea, all of the big companies from those countries are super integrated to the local governments. It's like kind of horrifying when you really look at it. But same thing with like the Skull and Bones, that game. That's tied into governmental money from Singapore that they got some like loan granted to them or whatever, and or grant. And so now they have to release the game under that title and with all these other restrictions because they already agreed to it. This is one of those games, especially with the fog and the slight gradations of color. This is a game you need to play at like in HDR on a good monitor. Capturing footage and video of this is going to be very difficult. I can already tell. People don't think about that, but like these smooth gradations of color from the smoke, all the color banding that's happening, that's just from too low of a bit rate. And so recording a playthrough of this game, if it takes 30 hours, is going to be the equivalent of recording like 200 hours for a game that's like not as high fidelity, like, you know, Warzone. You could play 200 hours of that, record all of it, and it would be less taxing than probably 15 hours of this. You know what it also reminds me of, weirdly, is Kena. You remember Kena Bridge of Spirits? It gives me Kena vibes. He turned into a ball sack. Oh. Now I'll never be able to unsee that. Okay. That's great. Charge! Oh. It's a cool ability. So you're saying this is Bloodborne developers, former Bloodborne devs? I thought it was Chinese, not Japanese. Luke, if your sack looks like that, you gotta talk to someone, man. No, what's the controversy? I want to know. Oh, got. Black Myth, Wukong. Oh, there's more. There's more. Thank you, Who Dat? Thank you. Oh. Oh. A stick. Okay. Well, there you go. Thandal, thanks for coming by, my friend. Thanks for coming by. It does look pretty good. I'm 90% sure it's Bloodborne employees. I hope it's good, but so far I just feel like it's a visual showcase that might not hold up in terms of gameplay length, story, balance, boss encounters. For me, Hell Was Here, like I said, it reminds me a lot of Kena, Bridge of Spirits. Because Kena was a game developed primarily from a studio made up of former animation employees that worked in animation specifically with like short films and movies and stuff. So graphically and in terms of animation quality, the cutscenes, everything, tremendous. But as a game actually structured, it had some difficulties. So it's just going to be a matter of whether or not they can turn these showcases into 20 hours of solid, engaging content.